what were your any impactful moments during this course which you would like to share to us?
I would say there is no specific impactful moments in the course, or I would say all of those days were impactful. There is no ups and downs to me. So for me, every day coming to the class and listening to the lectures, interacting with all those people, and this being an executive program, we had a very good bunch of people in our class. So we had people running their own businesses, people who are vice presidents of financial institutions, HR heads. And a lot of young people who were willing to start some businesses, and it was a very good interactive class, right? So professors have a lot of knowledge. I see professors spend a lot of time preparing for each class, right? So even if they are well versed in the subject, before each class they still prepare for that class, right? And then we could argue that professors are a little bit theoretical, but I would argue against that, saying it is for that breadth of information that we come to institutions, right? So what happens often, or what I observe, is that when we get into a job and when we work through that job, we kind of get locked into our own perspectives, what we do on a daily basis, and we rarely look out of the box to find other perspectives, right? And after 8 years of experience, I felt like I'm doing the same thing repetitively over and over again, and it was a revelation to come to the class and being bombarded with all those perspectives, which I never even thought about, right? So it's basically the infusion of different perspectives, different ideas, different thought process. So that was a very different experience, especially when most of the colleges that I studied before was very textbook oriented. And what I found here very relieving, and what I think that every college must do, is to go beyond the textbooks. We did have a reference textbook, but I don't think we ever touched it. We mostly talked, and we were learning centric, not even learner centric, we were learning centric. Like, how do we learn? How do we exchange information? How do we address some problems? Right. Even in case studies, I remember, even after reading those 40 pages of case studies overnight, coming to the class thinking that we know everything, the professor would wind up the class saying a few points which we never even thought about, which completely changed the way we look at those case studies. Right. So it was a very good experience, and all of this, for me, the impactful moments are each of those discussions we had in the class, each of those projects we did. We went out to the field. I think I did a project with the Kudumbasri unit, talked to those people. We took some classes for them, gave them some management lessons. So it was kind of a very different experience, very revealing to have those experiences and have those learnings as well.
Especially it's a good thing when you have an office during the daytime and then come to classes in the evening. So now, I mean, we have set of like weekend and we come and then we focus on, but you were involved in morning, you had to put your efforts and time in office and then come to the evening batches for entire class. So that's commendable actually. So let's, moving on, it is like, how did this course, EPGP, help you shape in your career? So how did that help in your career trajectory?
Yeah, so it's all a little bit connected to what I said before. So one is the acquiring that knowledge, right? So everything starts with knowledge. So IIMK did give me a good foundation to stand upon, right? So before it was all technical. The good thing with technical is that you can learn some programming, you can learn some configurations, and you can feel all confident about it. So that's all you do, right? But then the moment you step into a business environment, there are lots of ambiguities surrounding it. The environment is changing, and there is no single formula on how to run a business, right? So your competition changes, how you do your business changes, your business grows, people change, leadership change, but still the company should continue to grow. So I wouldn't be able to understand all these aspects if it were not for these lessons I learned from IIMK, those discussions I had with other people who were already in the industry. So we were getting this knowledge from the professors. We were discussing then and there with the veterans of the industry, because we have kind of representative from all the people, from all the industries, right in the class, finance, HR, everything as I told before. So that kind of gave me the confidence, because if the person sitting there who is a veteran of that industry aligns with our thoughts, or if we have had a conversation with those people, then I'm also confident in taking those ideas or talking in that way to my CFO or CEO. Right. So I think it's the confidence and the knowledge, and definitely the network of people whom we can always rely on. That's a basic building block that probably changed my life.
That's wonderful.
Priyod, can you tell us how did the transition from telecom to happen? What are the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So immediately after IIMK, I got an offer from Vodafone. It was still in the telecom sector, but it was kind of a very different role. It was in the Vodafone corporate, and I was given this position to build and run an innovation lab for Vodafone. So there was a VP who was overseeing the project, and he had to quit in between. So me and one of my colleagues were in Bangalore, and we were now tasked with this opportunity or the challenge to set up this innovation lab. We had about 45 crore rupees of budget probably, and we set up this innovation center. It was kind of a co-working space. We had a very vibrant workspace that was set up. So I was involved in setting up that lab right from the registration of probably the VTSL or Vodafone Technology Services Limited as a different subsidiary of Vodafone, getting into contract with the building contractors, the interior designers, equipment manufacturers, RAGs, setting up the data center, setting up the HVAC systems, labor contracts, all of it. So immediately after IIMK, that was a very good opportunity for me because I kind of got an opportunity to apply almost everything what I learned in some form or fashion. May not be in its entirety, but to a certain amount of HR, to a certain amount of finance, certain amount of project management, and all of those aspects. So I ran that project for almost 1.5 years. That's when Vodafone Idea started merging. That's also the time when the telecom sector was becoming a little less lucrative to continue on. So I was thinking of a shift, but I was unsure where to shift and what career change should I do, and if at all I should shift in my 10+ years of experience. But as I mentioned before, I'm always curious and I'm always up for a challenge. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I always take up challenges, and I kind of learn it also because when I look back at my career now and doing a little bit of introspection of what I have done throughout my career, I see that I have always sought some kind of newness in the career, right? So there is this daily job that we go into, but all through these positions that I held in Airtel or Huawei or Jio, I was curious to do something more, right? And probably the spirit of innovation is what carried me, and finally I still am in an innovation role. That's when one of my good colleagues, all my batchmates in IIMK, was starting innovation team in IBS, and he asked me if I would like to join in. So I didn't start my career in IT with product management. So we were kind of like an in-house startup with a funding to do something new in IBS, but also backed with the marketing and the brand name and the goodwill of IBS. So initially we thought we will do smaller innovations, influence customer engagements, but soon we learned that we should create some impact as an innovation team, and if we have to create those impact, products or building transformational products is a better way to do those things. So we started on a journey to create a mailbot product using NLP. So none of us knew NLP at that point, but we took this decision to try out something, and we did a lot of customer engagements to try and see the product market fit, and we saw there is an interest in that, but then we have not done product management. And I am first time in IT, and I have never been a programmer also. So the challenge for me was twofold. So one is the product management aspect of it, and second to learn IT.